Hello, everybody. I'm really excited to be here interviewing our very first Witching Hour guest. Are you excited to be here this evening?
Baba Booey.
Welcome in. Hello, chat. We can actually bring our actual guest in. Everybody, welcome into the Witching Hour. We've got a little bit different setup than we did last time. This is our guest, Detune.
Hi, everyone.
Everybody say hello. This is going to be an interactive stream. We're going to be chatting with each other mostly, but we're excited that we can see you guys. Taylor Swift is in town.
Yeah, 6 days of Taylor Swift. That means
Jesus Christ.
the Swifties gridlock the entire city.
Yeah, so if you're wondering why we were late today, it's because of Taylor Swift fans.
Thanks, Swifties. Don't bully me on Twitter.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Taylor Swift just became this like phenomenon. Like she's always been famous.
Yes.
But I feel like lately she's been extra famous.
My impression of what happened, 2020 happened and all the Swifties were like, we can't meet up, so let's take over Twitter and Tumblr. And now they're out in full force. They were always there.
Yeah.
But they waited.
That's true. They were waiting. I went to a Paramore concert, and as soon as I left the Paramore concert, I was mad at all of my ex-boyfriends all over again, which I feel like is probably how the Taylor Swift fans are feeling as well.
They're all mad at Jake Gyllenhaal.
They are mad at Jake Gyllenhaal. And the guy from the 1978, 1972, 1969, the guy from the band 1969. Can you name 5 people that Taylor Swift has dated?
Taylor Lautner.
Jake
Gyllenhaal. Well, I'm not gonna say 1975 guy because we just talked about them.
Yeah, that's true.
Loki. He dated Loki, right?
Really?
I think he dated Loki.
Forgot she and Tom Hiddleston dated. True.
Let's go.
Oh, and the guy from Owl City.
Wait, really? This is really embarrassing. Up until maybe 4 years ago. Oh, fuck. I can't believe I'm saying this on... I thought dude from Owl City and Bo Burnham were the same person. Up until like 3 or 4 years ago. They look the same. They're default white guys who play piano and can kind of sing.
Yeah.
I thought they were the same person.
Okay.
It literally... Side question.
Yes.
Would you date someone with the same name as you? Taylor Lautner, Taylor Swift. On that note, they dated.
Yeah,
Would that be weird?
I think I would, but I definitely could see. But
like, I feel like bedroom time would be weird.
It's like, oh, Taylor.
Yeah, you're like, wait, me, you?
It's like I'm gonna make you say my name, your name, my name, your name.
We're gonna say our name.
She's gonna be screaming our name all night long. That is true. That would make it
weird.
I wonder what it feels like just to be that famous. Like to just know that basically everybody that you run into is either going to know your name if they can't recognize your face, or they're going to recognize your face. Like the toll that probably takes on a person is astronomically difficult.
Yeah, I feel like weirdly you'll always feel alone.
Yeah.
Because you can never just exist.
Yeah.
Because that stigma is forever following you. You'll never know if people are vibing with you because it's you or if because you're Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a level of like, how would you ever know if somebody wants to be your friend? Which I think that a lot of people probably run into that with like any industry. Yeah. Where it's like, how would you possibly know if they want to be your friend or if they want to be Taylor Swift's friend?
A little fun note. This eye was
closed. Oh yeah, can you introduce our other guest?
Yeah. Everyone say hi to Priscilla. This is a allegedly haunted doll that I do believe is haunted that my brother got me for Christmas for some reason. Too scared to get rid of her because like, what if I get rid of her and then 10 years down the road I open a cupboard and she's in there? Wow. So this eye, I'll close it again. Normally like these type of baby dolls, the eyes open when they sit up. This eye was broken. There's like nothing attached to it. It still just opens up on its own. Just opens up? The eyes are weighted? No. This doll is older than weighted eyes.
Maybe I should go back and introduce the content that we did recently. So you do paranormal streams.
Yeah. So basically, I do IRL style streaming, but instead of just walking around outside, we just go to haunted houses or haunted asylums, prisons, wherever. I travel all over the U.S., hopefully all over the world. And I bring friends along because what's better than meeting my friends for the first time, throwing them inside a haunted house?
Sure.
It's pretty sick. It's something I started last year, put about 1.5 years of research to build the backpack and the tech, get everything up and running. Basically, I made it because nobody else was doing it in a high production way.
I've never seen anybody else do it live.
So my biggest reason of doing this, and specifically is a question I asked myself, if Ryan and Shane from watcher, BuzzFeed Unsolved. If they did this live, would I watch every second of it? And it's like, yes, I would be glued to my screen.
Absolutely.
It'd be hilarious. It'd be fun. It's the unknown factor. It's not an edited video. So like when things happen, you're like, oh shit, let's try to debunk that. Let's see what it's all about. And then you never know what's going to happen next. And that's kind of why I was like, screw it, I'll just make it myself.
Be the content you wish to see in the world. That is true. I think that that's an important thing that when it comes to content creation is like, would I watch this? Because I know that there's a lot of people that make content out there that it's like, it's good content, but it's like, would you watch it yourself?
That's my biggest
Or it's
thing.
like somebody else makes it really good, but it's like, would you watch? Like, that's what I try to do when I'm doing anything is like, would I watch this? Would I enjoy this? Because if I'm slogging through it and it's also something I wouldn't watch, like, why would I do it?
Exactly.
How did the paranormal thing get birthed?
Growing up, I wasn't even a skeptic. I was a cynic. I'm like, I don't believe in any of this. It's all BS. Like, these shows just hype it up. And when I was 16, I traveled to Louisville, Kentucky to go to a music festival. It was like a big scene metal festival. Lamb of God, Gwar, Devil Wears Prada. Yeah, let's go. But it was on the grounds of the Waverly Hills Sanatorium. And me and my friends went down a day early and we're like, let's just stay the night there. Walked in a cynic, left going, what the fuck? And immediately I was intrigued.
Yeah.
It was so sick. It was so scary. It's a place I said I'd never go back to. But now I'm doing this show. Eventually I have to go back.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt when I did the paranormal. Because the thing that happened at the end was...
Oh, that was so sick.
That was really scary. And it was one of those like... I mean, I'm kind of like a cynic. My only... explanation of what happened with us is a total coincidence, which is crazy. Like, that's just crazy for that many things to line up.
Coincidence, yeah.
Yeah. For reference chat, me and Jordan and our friend Billy and Chrissy, we did a like paranormal stream where we went into, what was the name of the place we went?
The Camino Real Playhouse.
Right. So it was like this old theater. It was really cool, and they walked us through. And he's gonna put it on YouTube, and so you can watch the whole thing. But the way that it ended was there is this method that you use. What do you call the method?
The Estes method.
The Estes method. You get blindfolded. You get noise canceling headphones put on, and within the noise canceling headphones is basically like Bumblebee from Transformers. So it's just like you're just hearing like little bits and pieces and static, and
basically it's plugged into a spirit box. Spirit box is a device that makes active dynamic white noise instead of static white noise. And it's supposed to create enough energy with like the changing of frequencies for things to communicate with you. And the big thing with spirit boxes for me, it's like if I'm listening to it and asking questions, I feel like subconsciously you're gonna be looking for an answer. The Estes method cuts that out. So it's like Sam would go under and I would ask questions, and if Sam says something that lines up with it exactly, it's supposed to be more of a reliable way of kind of using a spirit box.
So when we went in, our friend Chrissy was under, so she like had the noise canceling headphones on, and she had the blindfold on and stuff. So she can't hear us. She can't see us. And then your camera dies, which this isn't just like a dinky little camera.
We should have had another 2.5 hours worth of battery left.
So you go to change the battery. As soon as you walk out of the room, Chrissy says, turn the camera off, which is what she heard in her little headphone things.
And Chrissy has no idea I'm gone.
No.
And I have no idea this is happening.
Yeah.
I'm like ripping apart cables, trying to fix things.
Me and Billy were sitting there and we're looking at each other. I was like, you go pull her out. And Billy was like, you go pull her out. And I was like, no, you go pull her out. And then eventually Billy got up because she was like half an inch closer, got up and went and like tapped her on the shoulder. And then we all came into the other room and we were like, Jordan, we're done.
We gotta go.
We gotta go.
And I was like, what the fuck happened? And the best part of that is none of them knew that we had a static cam in the room that was still recording. So we have an entire candid shot of them being scared as hell.
Yeah.
And the camera got it, and it's going to be in the YouTube video, and it's so sick.
When you see that on the YouTube video, that was purely just our reactions.
It's going to be sick. I'm
cool.
so excited.
I'm excited for it. Do you have any upcoming things planned with Paranormal Detour?
I have a lot. I could tell you all the amount that we have coming up this year. It's more than the amount we've already done this year.
I'm excited.
By a little bit.
And you just moved to LA.
Yes.
So you have kind of this array of people to choose from.
Yeah.
And like places to go. Are there a lot of places in California for ghost stuff?
Yes, it's a little harder to get a hold of people. So I
Yeah.
have to find someone who knows the person to get the contact.
Right.
But once I have it, it's so easy and they're so excited.
Nice.
The next 2 or 3 that are coming up, I'm pretty damn stoked on. It's gonna
I'm
be sick.
excited. Do you have people like lined up?
I will say I have so many lovely friends and new acquaintances, and so many people are interested. I'm piecing it together, and there's a lot of cool shit coming up.
It's cool. You guys should definitely check it out. It is one of the coolest pieces of content on Twitch. Some of the most unique stuff. Oh yes, we have Witching Hour mugs that you can't buy because I only have 2 of them in existence.
Why am I doing
I don't know. They're cool.
was doing that
Hopefully at some
hashtag
point you
ad
can
for
buy
no-
them. I bought them on Amazon
Damn
because
it.
for fun. We just wanted to show you guys that we have them.
I tried so hard to sell that.
Have you had a ghost experience outside of Paranormal Detour?
Inside the Waverly Hills Sanatorium, there's quite a few things that I still can't fully explain.
Mm-hmm.
Waverly Hills was a TB hospital. 10,000 or something people died. It was like so many people were dying that they built a death chute out back
Mm-hmm.
to just throw bodies down a slide. I walked it. It's like 1,000 feet of like a whoop into
That
darkness.
sounds kind of fun. Have you seen the video of that cop coming down the slide? The child slide? Is it like that?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what I'm imagining.
I
is
just
that
okay.
video.
Have you deep dove the edits that people have made?
I saw one where somebody was flipping it, so he was going out and then back in and then up, and then they kept flipping it and reversing it, so he was just in a loop.
There's one did a Phil Collins edit.
Phil Collins.
Except they didn't do the drum fill. They used the actual audio. And it was perfect. I laughed so fucking hard.
Let's talk about your LA experience. Both
Yeah.
of us kind of recently moved to LA for the purpose of content.
Yeah.
What has been your overall experience?
The first month was a lot of highs and a lot of lows really fast. And I think that's the LA experience.
Yeah.
Of you are just thrown in and then you got to like hit the ground and then get up and be like, okay, now I'm situated. And I feel like I'm just getting into that.
Yeah, when I first moved here, I was kind of FOMO was really bad because my whole streaming experience kind of struggled at the beginning because I wouldn't say no to anything, and I was constantly like, guys, I'm not going to stream tomorrow because I want to go to this thing, or like I'm doing this thing. And I thought, okay, it'll settle down after I'm being here for a while, but it didn't. I just had to pick and choose what I was going to be a part of.
That makes sense.
But one thing about like living in LA as a content creator, you get to know other content creators personally off stream
Yeah.
in mass amounts. And one thing that I talk about a lot is streamers are real people. And one thing I was getting frustrated about recently is the disappointment of real people doing real people things.
Yeah.
And when you're here,
family.
When you're here, you're family. So thank you. That's it. Have a good night.
See ya.
See ya. I just feel like I'm getting disappointed left and right, I guess.
I've had 2 of like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
But then I've also have had so many people that like I look up to as creators, and they're like some of the most nice and genuine people that I could have met. It's so sick.
Content creators are theater kids.
They are. We are all theater kids or kids who are too scared to be in theater but would have thrived in theater.
Yeah, I've started using the phrase theater kid as a compliment because I think that theater kids have like a way upper hand in this. I mean, you just have like better presence. Like right now, you know, like I have 2 cameras on me. I've been streaming for 3 years. Am I having good camera presence? No. If I was a theater kid through high school, would I? Probably yes. And so those are things that I'm catching up with that I wouldn't have if I had a theater. Were you a theater kid?
I was not, but I was banned and I couldn't do both because they overlapped. I was also like a semi-jock.
I feel like my school wasn't big enough and I kind of had my feet in all of the
That was the thing. Like
Yeah.
I was the jack of all trades person.
I was an art kid.
Hell yeah.
I got voted most artistic when I was in high school.
Nice.
Which was really cool. And then I went on to do nothing artistic, but actually that's not true. Like this is artistic. This is very artistic.
So kind of piggybacking off a theater kid, my community, they call themselves Brat Chat. So hi Brat Chat. We have a thing that our community is made up of 90% band and band adjacent, and it's sick. It's all compliments.
Yeah, it is. Going back to like talking about just like content creation in general too, I think that it takes like a massive toll on your mental health.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so I think that one thing that has been like good and bad has been to be around other content creators, but also like when you live here, you don't get away from it. Because I don't know if I have too many friends that are like normie, not content creator friends. I don't know if I have any.
I
like,
have.
Since you've been here?
No, not anyone who lives here. Everyone who's here is content friends. Yeah. Oh shit. Uh-oh.
And you do music too.
Yeah. So I produce music, and then I also play in a band called Glasslands.
Are your other bandmates here?
No, we've never really all lived in the same state.
Really?
So we're used to that. Yeah.
Interesting. So how do you produce music together, living separately?
We just meet up when we have to.
Oh, okay. And then
so us three did music for a long time in other bands before we met up. So we're kind of like, tried and true of like, we know it works. We know how to do this professionally. I was in a scene band called Before Their Eyes. Our drummer was the original drummer of the band Beartooth, which they're huge. It's so sick. And then our vocalist played in a band called Icon for Hire. So we all met on like Warped Tour, and we did like tours and stuff together. And then one day we're like, we just kind of want to do something new and something we actually enjoy. And then we started Glasslands as a casual thing, and now we're signed to 2 record labels, a joint deal, which is wild. Yeah.
And you guys had a new song that just came out too.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm like notorious, like not necessarily like a music person, which I think I notoriously have bad music taste too.
Wait.
I think I do.
Okay, I'm going to go through your Spotify recently played.
If you go through my Spotify liked, I realized that my shit was fucked up because I was driving the other day and I turned on my like daily something where it's like
mix.
Yeah, and it went from Paramore to an Animal Crossing song. And I was like,
do you use Spotify for your background music?
And I think that probably can contribute to it.
Does your year-end rap, is it all
It's
fucked?
like Jeopardy is consistently one of my top rapped songs. There was another one too, another game show song, and then there was some Harris Heller shit on there, which is weird because I don't really listen to Harris Heller's music that much. I did though. When I first started streaming was when the DMCA kicked in.
The scare.
Yeah, if you go to like clips of my first streams, I'm playing anything, Paramore, whatever.
Yeah, let's go.
Because it's like DMCA was still a thing, but Twitch did not.
It wasn't
give two
enforced.
shits, no.
Yeah.
And then it was like shortly after that, it kicked in, and I was like, okay. And then they introduced the way to separate your VODs.
Yeah.
And so then I did that, and then I made a TikTok about that, and it blew up, and I got so much hate. I don't think I've ever gotten more hate in my life than from that TikTok. That is the most bullied I've ever been on the internet. It was kind of rightfully so, because I made a TikTok showing people how to separate the tracks so that you could play whatever you wanted.
Okay.
And people were telling me, hey, that's still DMCA, hey, da-da-da-da-da. But taking it as far as like bullying, they were like, you are the worst person that's ever existed on the internet because of this thing. This was kind of fun, like researching you for this, because I know your content from when we met to now.
Yes.
But there's a lot of content before then, and I went to your YouTube channel, and you had a song that you did for Unis Honest.
Yeah.
And I don't know about that.
Were you familiar with Unis Honest?
Recently. This is funny. So I had Ethan on Hired or Fired. And I was like, oh, he's Chris Melberger's friend. He's funny. When I posted the promotional poster of who was going to be on it, people were losing their minds.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I don't understand what's going on. And then after we had him on, somebody was like, oh yeah, like he did like the Unis Honest thing. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And so then somebody was like, oh, it was like a big thing he did with like
huge.
Markiplier and stuff.
Yeah.
And I like looked into it, and it was like 24 hours of me just being like, like I was like, oh, Chris Melberger's friend.
Chris's friend.
So yeah, what was that you did for that?
I didn't even know Ethan yet. Brian and I were friends. Gerbeegly. 2020 sucked, and that Unis Honest channel was like the one constant that I looked forward to every day. So I remixed a goofy song that they just that Ethan improv'd on one of the episodes, and I remember posting the video on Twitter and like walking away. And like, I'm like, it'll probably make its rounds on like Unis Honest's like, the Twitter following.
Which is feral.
Yes. And then I come back to my computer and I look and I'm like, this has 15,000 likes. What happened? I think Brian showed it to Ethan and Mark, and they really liked it. And they retweeted it, and one of the editors reached out to me to use the song in one of the upcoming videos.
Oh.
And I was like, yes. I was live on stream when that happened. I'm just like casually typing like, oh fuck, this is so sick.
Yeah.
And so then they used it in a video and in their live stream at the very end of it. But I was like doughy-eyed, fresh-faced streamer coming into this.
Really?
And, like, Ethan was like so kind to me and like reached out, checked on me, see how I was doing. And then Chris like also followed up on that. Then I met Jason, and then it just kind of like, that was a big turning point for my content. Fun fact, I almost didn't write the song.
Wow.
Music at that point felt very like a chore.
Yeah.
Because I was so burnt out. And I almost didn't do it, but Ellie, my partner, was like, just go ahead. Like, it'll take you an hour and a half. And I'm really glad I did.
Yeah.
Or else things would be way different.
I remember, I think the first time that I ever heard of you was Markiplier went live to raid you.
Yeah.
Was that in relation to that or different?
No, that was completely different. So this was really wild. This was right at the point where Markiplier in Space came out, and I, checked to see if he was cool with other streamers like and content creators making content around it, and he seemed really chill to it. It's like, let's do chat plays Mark in Space. Mark apparently remembered who I was, and I guess he was been like kind of keeping tabs on me, which is like really sick. He just like went live and was like, all right, everybody, let's go raid Detune. He calls me Detune. And just dropped like 17K people and it was just like in chat having fun for a bit and then dipped. I was like, this is so sick. My mind was blown.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was surreal.
You should get him on the Paranormal Detour.
My thing is like, I would like to ask him, but unfortunately, I don't know if we could do it live. I think he's too big.
Oh, because people would figure out where you are.
Mark's fans are feral. Like, we would have to hire a lot of security.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe it could just be a YouTube video.
Hey, pre-record it and play it live. Don't tell anybody.
we could do that. And the thing is, we could also go through all of the unedited footage the same way we would with the live footage, and it would still carry that feel of like the weird in-between moments that are like unique to live streaming.
You had a thing happen where somebody did cross the boundary.
Yeah.
When you're doing an IRL stream, people can figure out where you are at the moment that you're there.
Yep. So basically a kid who, I will be completely candid about this, followed from the Mark raid, and who is banned in Mark's channel, Ethan's channel, Sean's channel, Wade, Bob, everybody in the Markiplier cinematic universe apparently has a history of doing this. They drove 2.5 hours to this location in the middle of nowhere in Tennessee. This kid knew everything about me and the two guests, knew our full names, knew rolled a perception check on the guard and was able to get in. I kept the clips up just because I didn't want to erase the clip so people know. If you do this, then I'm giving the grounds and the guards and whoever's property it is full, just saying, throw the book at you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm full, anti-police, but like at some point something has to give.
Yeah. You have to make people understand that it's like we appreciate our viewers, but like that is such a cross of boundary.
Yeah. It was fucking terrifying. And the scariest thing was for me, I wasn't concerned about my safety, immediately my guests.
Sure.
Who
was with you for that one?
So it was my friend Vanna and my friend Misha Crossing.
Okay.
And they joined, and unfortunately it was just like the worst guest for this to happen to. And it just like, it took a toll on our friendship and it took a toll on a lot of things. But this kid was just, it was such an extreme level of unhinged because they, looked at me and was like, it's me, you should know who I am. And I'm like, who the fuck are you and why are you here?
Yeah.
And then they were like immediately swapped over to, I was invited, like, don't you remember? And I'm like, you have to leave. And then they swapped over to, you doxed yourself, bro. What do you think was going to happen?
So
they like admitted that they knew what they were doing was wrong.
Yeah.
It was so fucked. I mean, they got escorted off the property by 2 armed guards.
Yeah.
Kid never came back, luckily.
Yeah.
But it sucked.
Yeah,
so
that's really scary.
Because of that, I had to change the entire format of the show. Usually I would give the location ahead of time. We would do a stream deep diving the history and really hyping it up. And now I don't give locations till day of.
Yeah.
Or with some guests, I don't give locations at all. I tell you at the end of stream.
It's surprising how small you can be and still worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just like the parasocial nature of audiences and stuff like that. And like me with IRL streams, like I'll do the same thing. I'll say like, I'm going to go do an IRL stream this day. I'm not going to tell you where I'm going. IRL streaming can be really scary for that reason. Okay, DJ Clancy.
DJ Clancy.
DJ Clancy.
Dan Clancy. Did you see that he thought Blizz and I actually got married?
I did, but tell Stream about that.
Rooster Teeth's convention in Austin. Blizz had like a meet and greet. We jumped into Blizz's meet and greet line and, made him take photos with us, which is really fun. And then Blizz is like, yo, let's mess with the internet. I'm going to propose. And I was like, okay. And so I sold it and he sold it and it kind of looked legitimate in the photo.
What'd you guys say? It was the way you captioned it too. That was like extra. I don't know.
I just said I said yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's no shot people should believe this. But some people did believe it.
A lot of people did believe it.
So much so that I had to be like, y'all chill. Stop. It's a joke. But DJ Clancy.
Who is, if you guys don't know who we're talking about, this is the CEO of Twitch.
CEO of Twitch.
Dan Clancy.
Dan Clancy retweeted it and said, congratulations, Jordan. And was like, I'm so happy for you. And I'm like, and immediately Blizz texts me. He's like, yo. And I'm like, oh no. Like, what do I do?
It's like, oh no, Dan. Oh no.
I was like, no.
We got to go have lunch with them. This is such a weird
This is my
thing.
first week in LA and this happened.
So Eric messaged me at like 2 a.m.
Mr.
And he was
Crow.
like, hey, what are you doing Wednesday or whatever it was? Do you want to go get lunch with the CEO of Twitch? And I was like, okay,
let's run it.
Sure, let's run it. And then he was like, do you know anybody else that we could take? And then I'm trying to think of people who could use good wording but also ask the hard questions.
Yeah.
Immediately I was like, Detune, great,
go.
awesome. And so then I mean, I think we contacted you, it was like the night before, like the
morning
of
I
or
was
something.
streaming still.
Yeah.
And he messaged me on Discord, was like, yo, what are you doing tomorrow at 10 a.m?
Yep.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's run it.
Yeah, and then I
not
said
not
Ross
spooky.
Too.
We're not
that's what I'm saying. Is like people like John.
Sorry, bud.
Ross is cool. Ross is another one where I know that he would ask the hard questions, but also be I don't know, eloquent about the way he says things. And also Ross has been around on the internet for a while.
Since like Newgrounds, right?
Yeah. Like I didn't even realize how long Ross has been around. We went and we had lunch with the CEO of Twitch. And it was a really interesting experience because on one hand, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. I think I was expecting corporate suits.
Yes.
Which he does have that a little bit.
Has to.
He has to.
Yeah.
But I will say, I'm going to say of all of the CEOs that I've interacted with, I do think that he's got his feet in Twitch a little bit more than a lot of other social media platform CEOs.
We chatted before y'all got there and immediately he was so approachable and like genuinely interested in listening. How these normally go, especially dealing with like record labels, that's like what I have the most experience with. There will be an assistant to soften the blow of some questions or change the subject if it's getting into an area where they, know the CEO shouldn't ask. He just came by himself, which was so sick. And answered almost everything. There was like 2 questions that were like CEO talk, but I feel like he had to for like NDA purposes. But even some of the things that he couldn't necessarily say, he said without actually saying it.
Yeah.
Like the TikTok feed.
Yeah.
So basically alluding to it being a mobile only thing, but saying we would never do it with desktop because it would take away from the viewing experience on desktop. And then he adjacently said, but on mobile people only watch for like an hour or 2 at a time, and left it open-ended like that. And I was like, oh, it's coming to mobile. So it was such a sick way of doing that. So I thought that was cool, and I had a lot of respect for him being able to just like be candid with us.
He kept referencing Instagram live a lot of times.
Yeah.
Which I was interested, and I think that probably went into the like mobile stuff that was going on. But I noticed there was like 4 or 5 times that he would like compare things to Instagram lives or Instagram reels and stuff like that.
True.
And I was like, okay, like reels is weird. Reels is a weird land right now. So, and then you had him on your stream.
Yeah.
And I totally missed it. What did you guys do there?
He's doing like a whole new show on his channel of like asking streamers like personal like interview style questions. He wants to highlight streamers and things like that. And he's like, you want to be the first one? I was like, sure, let's run it.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. We talked about Twitch a little bit. We talked a lot about music. He asked a lot about the history of how I got into the platform, my music history and all of that. And I can comfortably say the demeanor that y'all saw with him on the channel was 100% how he was in real life.
I can imagine he probably doesn't have that on-stream persona too much yet.
No.
Because you do kind of develop that over time. Do you watch old clips of you streaming?
Yeah.
Did your voice change?
A little bit. I think I became a little more confident and a little less, I'm panicking. I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't want them to know.
Yeah. I noticed when I watch old clips, my voice changed a lot. It got kind of deeper, but not like just deeper, more like from the chest. Less monotone, still pretty monotone. But it's the YouTuber voice, which you can see it if you watch YouTubers, like their first YouTube video versus now, because you learn to project, you have the confidence, you have a speaking pattern.
Every now and then I'll get hit with a clip of somebody just like media requesting a very old clip of mine, and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, who is that?
You know what I hate? I'm sorry, streamers, if this is you. When I raid somebody or if I go into somebody's stream and I get a shout out and they have that feature where it pulls up a clip.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much.
There's one clip that shows up and it's from like my first year of streaming, and it's not funny, and it's just me making like some quip that's stupid, and it always plays, and I'm just like, oh.
Or just something completely out of context.
Yeah.
That's like, it was funny in the stream because it was like a bit or something, and then you watch it back, you're like, huh? I rated somebody and they did the clip thing, and it was like a random paranormal clip, completely out of context, that somebody thought they saw something.
Yeah,
they were massively confused because it was like one of my first paranormal streams, so like my cameras weren't the best yet, so it was like a very dark and grainy clip, and it was like me whispering, and it looked absurd out of context, and they were like, huh. Like, they looked disturbed, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, and I think I just closed my browser and like went outside. I was like, I'm done.
There's a couple things that will kind of like make me leave a stream, and I'm not going to say them because I know there'll probably be people in here that'll be like, I do that.
One of my things that I will leave a stream is if I feel like I'm inadvertently hijacking chat.
I'm going to big dick it. Having a partner badge makes that happen, and I hate it.
Oh my God, listen to this.
It does. I'm going to complain.
Large
I'm going to complain
schlong.
about a thing
my
that
God.
is cool.
When I go to a stream, the biggest thing I want to do is vibe with the community. Especially if it's a stream I don't understand, or like, not don't understand, but like I'm new to it. So I want to like get the vibe, because you'll know if you fit in a stream, if you fit in with the chat. Like, that's my biggest thing. If I vibe with this chat and I'm having a good time, it's like, oh, I'm actually going to like this stream.
You can tell a lot about a streamer based on their chat. Because I know that there's some streamers that I like as people, but they don't ban anybody. They don't time anybody out. They let people just like run rampant. And so there's people that you'll go in and you'll be like, I like this person. Their chat fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, especially as like a woman, you go in and you're just like,
yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Listen,
like, I feel like everybody just turned around and looked at me in the room.
Being a person of color and going into a stream and watching people make offhanded racist jokes.
Right.
And like the streamer going, haha, like knowing that they should.
Or pretending they didn't read it.
Streamers, we could tell when you're reading something because you'll do like a face twitch. It's a very obvious read.
Yeah.
If you see something upsetting, you go, ugh. A chat in a community is a direct reflection of you. So if you don't enact and like act on these things, in my mind, you're pretty chill with these things.
Yeah.
And that is upsetting to me, and I will just not pop around.
Yeah, and there's like alternatively too, there's sometimes you pop in and people's chats are like really, really great, and then like the streamer might be just off on like a tangent or like saying some, not offensive, just being weird or saying some stuff and their chat is keeping themselves moderated,
then
I'm always like,
they're having a moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's entitled to their moment as long
exactly.
as it's, not
that
racist or homophobic.
That's it's true. You can't, no gamer words. That's not a moment.
Oh God.
That's not a moment that you get to.
My biggest thing that I always get very, very excited about is if new watchers in my stream go like, and they compliment the community and just like, I love the community here or like the chat here. And to me, that is more of a compliment than complimenting me directly.
I want to talk about, I went from ghosts to aliens because that's the linear progression.
Yeah.
And okay, here's a question. If you had to have a one-on-one conversation with an alien or a ghost, which one would you choose?
Alien.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, alien. I feel like one-on-one with a ghost, it's either going to be information related to the past or stuff about the next step in life, and maybe I don't want to know that,
Well, they're like, I was a carpet cleaner, and then you're like, okay.
Well, they'll probably call me the N-word. Like, think about it this way.
Yeah, aliens will.
Any point past, like, anything at all, actually.
I was going to say all aliens are racist, but to humans. Because
listen.
Which by default means they're not racist.
It's a running joke that I have that, like, I'm going to get hate crime by a ghost. Because no matter where I go.
Me too. I also.
It's like, we're going somewhere 1800s. Yep. 1900s.
Well,
yep.
It's like they don't want to talk
3
to
weeks
either of
ago.
us.
There's a chance.
Son of a bitch. If there's a scenario where I get to interact with a ghost and the ghost tries to mansplain shit to me, I'm pissed off.
The spirit box just goes, listen, sweetheart. Like,
can you smile a little bit more? I'm just like, you son of a bitch. I'm putting you back in whatever item you just came out of.
Gab, all ghosts are bastards.
True.
I fuck with that.
It would be interesting to go in with kind of like a array of different kinds of people to see who that ghost responds to.
Yeah.
Because, like you go in with somebody that's a woman and you might have somebody that only interacts with women or interacts with women poorly.
This happened quite a few times. So the one experience that pops up to me was when I brought Mika along and we went to this house in Texas. And this one room was known as like the children's room. It was like a halfway orphanage type thing. And when Blizz and I were in there, we got zero activity. But then Mika's like, I'm kind of feeling doing isolation here. So we leave and immediately stuff was popping off so intelligently. And like to the point where even Blizz and I were downstairs like in disbelief. We're like, what the fuck? But it was kids who, from 1800s who like every man is a piece of shit.
Sure, yeah.
And like, just for fun, just like kind of pops kids in the face.
Yeah.
So it's like we left the room and the more maternal, I guess, air quote energy they picked up on and they were immediately like non-stop responding. It was so sick.
Is Paranormal detour, detune? Like, did you do that on purpose? Or did that just happen?
Do you want the lore of that?
Yeah, I do. I also want the lore of your username. Because I like to ask people this.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a good story and sometimes it is just like not anything.
So, Paranormal Detour, basically when I was coming up with the idea of doing the show, I didn't really tell chat too much what I was up to, but I was building the backpack and I was touring a lot with Glasslands. It was last year, I did like 4.5 months of touring on the road. It was a lot, yeah. Wow. But we called the streams where I was going around the cities detours because I was on Detune on tour. We just call it detours. And I was going through and trying to think of a fun paranormal name, and I kind of just landed on that, and it felt really good. It's really cool, and I have a lot of people telling me that the branding is great because anytime they see a detour sign, they think of Paranormal Detour. And I was like, yes, let's go.
Yep. I saw one kind of recently, and it was like kind of a weird, like banged up sign, and I was like, I've never wanted to steal government property, but I really want to steal government property right now.
My username, I just wanted a music name. So I needed something to get me out of my studio. It was 2 years in a row that the only days off I had were my mom's birthday and Christmas. And I was locked in my studio, minimum 14-hour days, producing other people, writing my own music, mixing people's music. I started hating music. Couldn't tell. I'm a workaholic. I was like, I need something that feels like work, but it's still fun and a hobby, like something I feel like I can grow. And me and my closest IRL friend were like, let's try streaming. And then I was like, I kind of want to do this a little more. Let me change my old username, which was Jamocha Bear, which was a nickname from Scrubs that everyone called me
Scrubs.
in the music industry. It was like, oh, it's Jamocha Bear.
I love Scrubs.
It's my favorite show. I love it so much. But then I was like, I want a music name. So I was like, what is the thing that I'm doing most in my music production? And I was really into detuning synths and stacking them together by like a few cents is what the terminology is. So it makes really tense and beautiful sounds. I was like, well, detune. I guess that's like kind of my thing. It's like it's a lot of good, a lot of bad, and I try to be myself as forward as I can. So it made sense.
Yeah,
I just kind of ran with it.
I like it. I like that it's not just like I thought it was a cool word, or like I randomized and it was the first one I got. I feel like most people that I talk to about streaming, it becomes kind of like a cornerstone of your personality and stuff.
Yeah.
So like what parts of you do you put into streaming, and what parts of it do you think you feel you get out of it? If that makes sense.
Yeah, so streaming, like, it kind of consumes everything around you, and you have to be aware of that stepping into it, because it could be a little bit overwhelming. It is a whole lifestyle. There's no clocking in and out. You're constantly thinking of like, what can I do next? What should I do here? So for me, having a creative outlet that feels like it is just mine is something that's so new for me, because I was always producing other people's music and working with labels that expect certain things. And it's like, here, my biggest thing is I want to do what I want to do first. And then I'll worry about viewership and things like that, because that's how I need to operate.
That's how you should do it. Yeah.
It's
You
so
don't get as stressed out, because it'll be like the metrics will come if I do the thing, rather than I'm going to chase the metrics and then do whatever the metrics want.
for me, having that creative outlet and having a sense of self is pretty big. Being able to craft a space that I feel like younger me would have looked for and was missing out on was a really big thing of what I wanted to do with streaming. You know, being a pansexual person of color, especially in the early 2000s, that shit was rough. You had to just mask and like take the punches, unfortunately, because you had no other choice. So trying to craft a space where we can be ourselves is like the biggest thing I wanted to do. And for me, I get a sense of self out of that, because I feel happy knowing that there's a space where I can 100% be myself, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
And I try to push my stream as honest as possible. If things are not good, I'm not going to be positive vibes only. Let's do this. It's like, no, shit sucks. Let's talk about this. This is human. I don't want the stream to feel like an Instagram feed where it's so curated and so phony that like you feel shitty about yourself because you're going through it, but the people you are seeing look picture perfect, and that's not real life.
The difference between like content creators like us and like celebrities are you get to see so much more of us on demand. Especially with live streamers. And I think live streamers probably have the most parasocial audience, even when it's harmless. I think it's pretty impossible to watch a Twitch streamer not parasocially, in a way, you know? I think we get parasocial with each other even a little bit, you know? Meeting other Twitch streamers, I feel like I know them, and then I meet them and I'm like, oh, this is a real person. They're not streaming right now. We are friends and we do get along, but they're different off stream. Which a lot of times you meet your friends and you realize, I've never had a one-on-one conversation with you. I've been into your streams, you've been into my streams.
We've been in lobbies
friends
together and interacted in that light, but then it's like, it's different when cameras are off and you're seeing someone for who they are.
And I think, I mean, I know I do this, I know you do this. There's a bunch of other streamers that I know that are really open and organic with their chats. I talk about basically everything that I can talk about pertaining to my life that won't dox me, because that's how I like it, and that creates a parasocial nature. But I also think that it can be really helpful for people's audiences too, like you were just saying, you know? It's like, we want to think that we're really unique. We're not. So there might be somebody out there that identifies as pan and they're like, I watch Detune, talks about this stuff. Like, I'm not at the point that they're at where I want to like talk about it, but I get to watch somebody go through their life, you know, that I identify with. I
mean, to put it into like a more specific example I can give, chat was with me as I was going through my self identity and realizing that, like, especially with my sexuality, and they were along for the ride up until this year where I publicly like
it was like
expressed.
A month ago, 2 months ago,
about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And even doing that, there was people in the community who, you know, sent me like a DM just like thanking for being able to come along with that, because they also were going through the same thing, and it was nice to have that from a distance, but still feel like you're experiencing something in parallel, even if it's, parasocially.
It's a double-edged sword, because
Yes.
it helps people connect to you as a creator, but unfortunately it helps people connect to you as a creator.
Fucking weirdos show up in a haunted hospital and have to deal with that shit.
Yeah, weird. It's like the Ludwig meme where it's like, we are not your friends. And it's like really hard, because it's like, I do genuinely care about my viewers and their well-being. And there are a lot of people from chat that are my friends, but you have to, I've had viewers that have pushed that boundary where they message me things that it's like, I really appreciate that you're trying to look out and you're trying to like either take care of me or take care of the community. This is a boundary that I have to set, where I cannot have everybody that watches me DM me things pertaining to my personal life.
Yes.
Please.
That's a big thing that I even say on stream, is like, I am open and willing to talk about all these things, but do not infantilize. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Infantilize me or try to therapy me, because that's crossing a boundary.
Yeah.
Like, I'm letting you all in, but that doesn't mean you're getting the entire picture, because that's impossible for me to give the entire picture in a 7-hour broadcast.
Yeah. And setting boundaries is really hard especially with chat, with other people. I think that that's one thing that I've discovered in the last like year, is like how to set boundaries. My chat, I'm really lucky. They just kind of get it. And also my boundaries are way looser than a lot of people's, but a lot of streamers aren't like that. And you have to respect individual streamers' boundaries.
Yeah.
Which is important. Yeah, even if they're loose, they're still there. And if you push somebody's boundaries and they say, oh, no, thank you, then if you tell them that, it's like, did you hear about the BookTok drama? You probably didn't.
Are you on BookTok?
I'm not. Well, I've become on BookTok unintentionally. If you don't know what BookTok is, basically it is people that create fanfics of whatever, right? So BookTok, we've got Twilight BookTok. So these are the people that write fanfic of Edward Cullen.
So it's I didn't know it was fanfic.
But it's TikTok.
I thought it was people who just like books.
Yes, it's well, I think it
they
can
like it
be
too much.
But I think it's kind of developed into this like BookTok. Yeah. Anyway, so we have got BookTok, TikTok, fanfic stuff. Okay, we're in that realm.
Okay.
So there was this hockey team. I can't remember the name of the hockey team that is hot, and I guess there's one particular guy that's real hot, and BookTok was kind of, thirsting over them on TikTok, and they were kind of playing into it. I think that they gifted one of the BookTok ladies like a jersey, but there was this one lady that was just making these TikToks that were vile. Like she was like, especially about this one guy, she's like, I want him to do this to me and this and this and that, and I don't remember what the pun she said. It was like the Krakens, I think was the name of the team. She's like, more like cracking my back, like, break it down. It was like,
how old was she?
I would say probably 30s. It was like,
my back was pretty smooth though,
it was like, I knew it
pretty
was
smooth.
I knew it was going to be like, I was like, oh, this is going to be just, some like, and then she just kept going, and I was like, holy shit.
Oh no.
But anyways, like they told her to stop, especially that guy's wife was like, like, hey bud, like you're getting a little out of hand here, like we're a little uncomfy, like we were okay with you thirsting over the players, but you're making whole ass like narratives and verbalizing them. And she got mad that people were telling them to stop making thirst talks over these people, and they were like, it's a joke, like you guys are getting all pissed off about it, like, and then she was getting mad at like the guy's wife for like coming out of the woodwork. She's like, who the fuck even are you, like, it's what, da, 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 da. And it was insane, and it was totally parasocial. And going back to the parasocial thing, people think that because you're on the internet that you have opened up the gate to allow whatever they want to throw at you. I mean, I hear it all the time as like a woman streamer where it's like, well, you're the one that's streaming, like you're the one that's putting yourself out on the internet, so how come you're, like so pissed off because I can't come in and say, hey, show me your hongabalongas live on stream.
Your hubbabaloo.
Yeah. And that is so I can understand why there's a lot of creators that choose to just close themselves off.
Oh, yeah. If you're a creator, please operate within your boundaries and self-reflect on what your boundaries actually are.
Yeah.
If you are fine with people going all in, sure, great. But like, kind of also state that you're fine with that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
To kind of let everyone know that like this is chill with you, because people follow by example, and sometimes they don't know what's chill and what's not if they're new to a stream. I've had a lot of times where we just had to time people out for like compliments are getting too aggressive.
Yeah.
Where it was like, yo, you are objectifying the shit out of me. Like, chill a little bit.
It took a while for me to find a center point, and not just with me, but for me to communicate with my mods. I started out streaming for probably a couple years. Like if somebody would come in and be like, wow, you're gorgeous, I would be like, out of here, you're done. Because immediately it was like, well, why the fuck are you here then if that's the first thing you said?
Fair.
And then I kind of had to take a step back and be like, is that my boundary or am I making that my boundary? And I kind of thought about it and I was like, you know what? I think that might genuinely be like something that somebody just says off the get-go and then they're fine and maybe they're just whatever. And I think that, one thing I kind of started is like, okay, I'm going to let somebody cook a little bit longer. I'm going to let them cook.
I mean, so I guess I kind of do the same thing. If someone says something a little off the wall in the first message, I'm like,
hey, streamer, can I ask you a question?
And I prod a bit. I'm like, mods, hold on, let me have a moment. Sometimes we get some people who like genuinely just like social cue was just off. And like they didn't realize it, but then when I'm like, yo, you gotta chill on that, they're like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize. And then they're like a awesome member of the community. We had other people who came in and like, I want to wear your face on my face. Come here, streamer. I'm like, get him out of here.
It's always the can I ask a question?
Can I ask you a question?
It's always like that. I've never had anybody come into stream and ask that and have it be like a normal chatter that has become like just a genuine part of the community. Like, can I ask a question?
Can I ask you a question? Yeah, honestly.
But your mental health is always the priority, but with that, I love seeing the weirdos dig their graves. That's another thing too that I think
I have fun with them.
I like to play with my food a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And I think that some people don't, and I think that my mods never know either. Like I know Soup is just like waiting like by the ban button. And sometimes I like to play with my food a little longer than she is comfortable with.
I if I see something I'm like, mods, hold.
I know. I need to have like I need to make a safe word with my mods.
Yeah.
Where it's like, just let me have this one for a little bit. Just give me like 2 extra seconds.
Give me a little bit. I'm just like, hold.
5 more minutes.
Let me have a little fun. And yeah, we'll just play it out a bit. It's good.
Okay, let's talk about aliens. Because what happened is, I'm sure you heard about this, we had a Tic Tac shaped craft that was witnessed, and then apparently we had a government press conference about some alien biologics. I think this is the word they used. And they took it away and they're like looking at it, and they had like a bunch of people that were supposed to be qualified to be talking about this shit.
Yeah.
But I had a mod, Cheese was like, oh, by the way, did you see all of the things that passed while this alien shit was going on?
Oh shit, the counterplay?
Yeah,
oh, no.
Which that was the first thing I said when we had alien talk was, okay, what's going on in the White House right now?
Did you happen to see the Whitest Kids You Know clip that's going around? Rest in peace, Trevor. Yeah. They did a skit about that like years ago of like Trevor's like doing a press secretary conference or whatever, saying like the aliens are here and the magical space wizards are doing this and this and this. And like one of the press in the audience goes, by chance, did we invade Iran today? And the press secretary goes, you got me. I went too far. It's so sick.
And that's the first thing I said is, if I'm a government official and I want to do some shady shit, I have the alien file that I pull out.
Every now and then.
Yep.
Drip feed it.
Yep. And I'm like, Mitch McConnell, I want you to get up in front of everybody and I want you to look like you saw a ghost. And then we're going to talk about some alien shit. And then everybody's going to be all dialed in on that, which I'm making a video about this right now. So I'm not going to go into it too much. Have you seen Ghost Watch? You specifically will be interested in this. Ghost Watch was this show where they were like, okay, we're going to Detune style go into a house. This is going to be live streamed. We're going to film this house that's allegedly really haunted, and we're going to interview the family that lives here. And then they had a host that was in a studio, and then they had people that were in the field in this house.
Was it the thing that was like
staged?
staged, and they didn't think people would fully actually believe it.
Yeah, it's like the first.
Yes!
It's like the first recorded, like PTSD in children from like TV.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Because
so it was
they
totally staged.
oversold it. And it was too real.
Yep.
Yes.
I watched it because I didn't watch making
the whole
a
thing.
video on it. You should watch it. It's actually really good. I was saying on stream, I wonder if Detune ever was gonna like, he was like, I'm done with Paranormal Detour. I just don't want to do it anymore. Like the very last one.
Just full send it.
the fuck out of it. Yeah, it's like the War of the Worlds broadcast. That's what the video I'm making about is. It's like the War of the Worlds broadcast, Ghost Watch, just like, is lying in media entertainment, or is it like gone too far?
The fact that it gave kids PTSD because they were like, holy shit, this is real.
I have one more activity for us to do because I always like to end the podcast with something that's not just talking.
Can we play with knives?
We're gonna play with knives. So we're gonna do
Nice.
the that thing.
Awesome. I'm glad I just got off a
I'm
plane.
gonna reach
Dexterity.
fast. So I went to Best Buy today because I had to buy cords, and I found these. It's sci-fi horror blind bag, and so they're $10, but you get over $25 worth of toys and
Let's
collectibles,
go!
and we each get one.
Oh shit.
And I don't know what's in them.
Don't go into the basement.
I have
Great
no idea.
value.
Packed with scary collectibles. Yeah, I figured it was up your alley because we were talking about paranormal stuff. Yeah.
Wha-bam!
Ooh, what is that?
Wait, Futurama. Wait.
Oh, let's go.
It's a Futurama keychain. That's sick as fuck.
Nice.
Let's see what we got.
Oh, it's the guy.
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
He's
whoop,
the
whoop,
mind flayer.
Zoidberg.
Zoidberg.
Wha-bam!
Oh, Busters. I thought it would be generic. I didn't realize it would be like
This
name
is like
brand.
Genuine. It's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
That's sick.
Legitimately, like, I would buy this.
That's cute.
So sick.
Oh, there's another thing in here.
few
It's
more things.
allegedly over $25 worth, so it could be an iPod.
Oh, shit.
What is that?
Baby G. What the fuck is this? Am I old?
Baby G.
Who's Baby G?
I do not know.
Kid Robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baby G. Yeah.
Baby G.
No, it's serrated on me.
Okay. I have a fluff. If it's the same three things, I'm going to scream.
Oh my god.
Because I think that I might have the same. It's the Michelin Man.
Let's go.
Okay. Well, maybe that was just a chance. Maybe it was just by chance. Okay. I also have a Futurama box. So maybe
It can't be Zoidberg,
if
because
it's-
that's randomized as well.
yeah. I also haven't really watched
Stop
Futurama.
using your teeth.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Mom.
It's the guy from Fortnite.
Oh yeah, they are serrated. Okay. Okay, it's not him. It's a different color.
Uh-huh.
It's this guy.
Don't know who that. What's his name?
He's got a human name.
Don't look at chat.
Marshall.
It's Marshall Futurama. It's Marshall. Marshall Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Let's go.
I don't know. It's the metal guy. What's the metal guy's name? Bender.
Wait, you got two Futurama?
I guess you got. It wasn't Futurama. It was just a
No, I got Baby G.
nondescript character. It'd be funny if they gave you two name brand things and then one just like they were in a warehouse and they were like, fuck it, just throw that in. And I got a Zoidberg also, but purple.
Is that blackface Zoidberg? What the fuck? Hold on. Is that blackface Zoidberg?
Why is he purple? Hold on, let me go over to
What
this
the
camera.
fuck? What is this?
Is there a purple version?
What? Universe B Zoidberg. Oh.
I think the B stands for blackface.
Universe blackface Zoidberg?
Alright, well.
What the fuck?
This brings us to the end of the podcast. So I want to shout out Jordan Detune.
Hi.
Thank you for being here. Please go follow him. He does paranormal detours, which we've talked about a bunch, which are awesome. I genuinely mean this. It's like the coolest content on Twitch.
It's my baby.
It is.
To circle back to something we said earlier, I made this show and invested into the hours into building the tech and planning this out and doing all of this and financially investing before I even realized if anyone would watch it. I was like, I'm just going to do this because I want to do this and I would watch every second of this. I hope people enjoy it, and I just jumped straight into it.
Yeah, it's cool when you have a passion project that people also really enjoy.
I know, it makes me so happy.
It's cool. And also it's kind of cool when you have a project that if anybody else tries to copy, it'll be like, no, dude, like somebody's already doing it. Like,
True.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of times you can yoink and twist it, but like I don't know how you would do that with this because it's
True.
Is there any other projects that you have coming up that you want to shout out?
The rest of the year is very all of a sudden booked out with paranormal stuff, and I'll explain more later on, but I will not leak more than that right now. I have some other really, really cool, really big things coming up, but I can't talk about it yet. I can just tell you, holy shit, I'm so excited.
Okay, I want to take a moment to say thank you because I started a Patreon, and I have kind of a little bit of an announcement about the Patreon.
Ooh, let's go.
Immediately after stream ends, there is a little AMA, !AMA, if you want to get your questions in. AMA. I'm going to ask Jordan some questions from the AMA. Those are going to be exclusive from the Patreon. Ooh. So if you like The Witching Hour and you want to directly ask the guest questions, I'm going to go through and try to find the spiciest ones. Also, this VOD will be unlisted immediately after stream, and then it will be posted on the Patreon like tomorrow. And then a week later, I will post it on the Witching Hour YouTube. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, you get a little bit more content, and you also get the VOD immediately if you want to go back and watch it. But the announcement that I want to make about the Witching Hour is that I can only do, 2 of these a month probably, because I'm a one-man show. So what I've decided to do is to adjust the Witching Hour Patreon into just kind of a general Samwitch Patreon. Ooh. So you will still get everything that you get from the Witching Hour on the Patreon, and I'm also going to come up with extra content related to me. So if you are a current subscriber, you'll get everything that you're already getting plus more. I'll brainstorm. I have some ideas, vlog type stuff, Oki pictures, shit like that. So again, there's a Patreon, !Patreon. If you want extra content, or if you just think you want to give me $5 a month, I'm also not going to say no to that. But right now, I just want to say thank you to Smith and King Kiefer and Therese and Travis and Don Juan and Cyril and Sim and Alice Vacker Gaming and Bryce. And if you liked the stream, thank you. I'm going to read all of the subscriptions and stuff because I know I can't say thank you during the podcast. So if you gave me money today, I'm going to read it right now. Cyril, thank you for the gifted sub. Dirty, thank you for the gifted sub. Anonymous, thank you for the gifted sub.
Jordan's big old dumpy?
Let's go.
Okay.
Maddie, thank you for the 15 months.
Damn it.
Alexa, thank you for the 9 months. Baby Therese, thank you for the 25 months. Hannah, thank you for the 27 months. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the love during the stream, even though we don't stop and say thank you. You fucker. I don't even have an alert for that. Okay, we have an alert that we do when that one. So it's the Yoshi's Island song that it goes, you just have to bob your head. Dun, 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 dun. They hear it in their head, and then they do this one. I wish you knew the song because this is just me singing a Mario song.
No, I'm just letting you sing
it. We're gonna have a montage of me doing this every time the alert doesn't work.
I know the song, but it was having you sing it was so much better.
Thank you for the $50, Cyril. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a good rest of your evening. Bye bye.